I moved into this apartment just about 2 years ago, like 2 weeks shy of 2 years. And this is the first time I've ever had space of my own to like play with and set up the way that I need it to be or want it to be. And it's been 2 years and I still have not finished. And I think that that's actually a great thing, but also realizing that I probably will never truly be finished. Right before I moved, I bought a copy of the book Find Yourself at Home by Emily Grossvaner. Emily was the editor-in-chief of Portland Home Magazine, and now she is an independent journalist on Substack. And it was kind of my introduction to feng shui and like this kind of mindful process of the energy of a space and a room and kind of the psychology of it as well, of like how do you use this room? What sort of energy do you need it to provide you in order to use it better? So like, for example, this is my living room. It's also my dining room, and I have my writing desk over there, but my writing desk doesn't have a chair, and so I haven't sat down at it ever. There's a plant on it and a laptop that I haven't opened in a couple years, and some notebooks for a story that I stopped working on months ago. Anyway, so my living room is kind of my creative space. It's where I start my mornings here. Sometimes I end my day here, but usually I'm in kind of the den, the TV room. And it's really where I do like most of my creative projects, anything like spiritual. It's where I play with my cat. I do a lot of reading in here. This really is like the room where I spend the most time, I think, working on myself. And one of the things that I need from this space is for it to continue to encourage me in my creativity and also to help me become even better versions of myself. And so part of that is having, like, I've got this wall of, for a while it was like a big mood board, vision board. Now it's got like my resolutions for the year, which are almost done, thankfully, because there's only a month left to finish them. And there's like pictures and some stuff, but I really needed this space to like bring in a lot more vibrancy and color to my life. So I bought red chairs. I have 2 red chairs. I put up a big wall of my postcard collection, some of them, to bring more color into this space, because before it was pretty muted. I have a beautiful green couch. I have a lot of like dark blues and stuff in the rugs in this space, and then my books. My books are the most colorful part of this room. And I've always been kind of afraid of the color red. Psychologically, I know that red like makes me kind of anxious. It stimulates your heart rate, and having a stimulated heart rate makes you think less logically, but also I already have a high resting heart rate. My heart rate is usually in the high 90s, like resting, chilling. So I don't like having my heart rate stimulated. These chairs are kind of more of like a burnt red, a little bit orangey. Anyway, I knew that having like little pops of those bright saturated colors that I tend to shy away from would actually really help me invigorate myself and kind of push my creativity a little bit more in this space. Firstly, just in the use of trying to figure out how to fit it into this space in a way that I would like and I could handle and enjoy. And then also like just having the color around and having that be something that I see on a regular basis in a space that I'm actively creating. I'm working on getting more plants in here. The lighting in here is kind of fun because it's staggered and I can do lots of things with it, although I need more ambient lighting, I think, because it kind of lacks that. But there's lots of great bright lighting for like doing my more detailed art stuff and seeing it really well. So then using Emily's method, I've been thinking about like my other rooms and like making sure that my bedroom is really like a restful sanctuary. And for a long time, I've kind of had this thought process around like, I don't want to be in my bedroom, or definitely not. Ooh, did you drop that? I don't want to be in my bedroom, or at least for sure not in my bed unless I'm trying to sleep, because my body needs that. Like, this is only for sleep. When we get into this spot, we are going to sleep, because I don't sleep without drugs, without prescription medication. I would get about 2 hours of sleep a night. Oh, okay, bye. And I've been thinking about and playing around with my office space. I work from home, and most of my apartment is kind of L-shaped, but there's this little wing off of one side, and it's the only thing that's over there. You can only get to it by going through the kitchen past the entryway. And I put my office in there. Originally, my office had been here in the living room, but it was really hard for me to rest and relax after work when I had my work desk and all of that stuff just like sitting in the same space. So I put my office in that little wing off by itself, but I keep rearranging it because the energy just, I had my desk against the wall and it felt like the energy just kept getting stuck. So I moved my desk back out from the wall, but then that takes up space in a way that I don't like, and it makes the back of the desk look really messy with all the cords. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but it definitely feels better to have it away from the wall. And then as I continued to dive into her book and the different chapters and the exercises, full disclosure, I haven't finished the book. I've been going through it for almost 2 years now, so I haven't finished it. But I have started reading and accumulated a bunch of other subsects of knowledge when it comes to space. And it's been really interesting to try and map out what would be ideal for me. And I think that is very much a like continually asking myself that question, because I'm always learning and growing. And my home, I think Emily Grosvenor and Marie Kondo both say something along the lines of, your home should be telling you the story of who you want to be and helping you to become that person, instead of telling you the story of like who you were in the past or who you are right now, if you are looking to encourage growth and change within yourself, which I am. And I think everyone should be to a certain extent, right? That's kind of the human experience. We hopefully grow and change throughout our lives, and we're never stagnant. Anywho, so I've kind of come to a point where I am trying to figure out how to put all of this information together. So I'm really interested in just interior design for aesthetic reasons. So interesting and fun. And it's been interesting through this process to see, like, I'm very much a traditional to transitional. Like, Art Nouveau is my favorite, far and above. I love Art Nouveau. I like a little bit of arts and craftsman style, but the rails are a little bit too geometric for me. I was never really a big mid-century modern girl until, like, I've been bringing in little pieces of that and little pieces of kind of more modern in general and like contemporary design to help with my creativity, because it stimulates something in me. It's not as like comfortable and the norm for me. It's not as restful. so I love the aesthetic of interior design. And I mean, I grew up having more fun decorating my Barbie doll house than playing with the Barbie dolls. So if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know. But I have also been really interested now in the energy of space, and from like a psychological perspective about colors and color theory is so fascinating. I went to art school for a year, and that was probably the most interesting part of it for me. And then looking at it from like traditional feng shui and kind of learning more about that, it's been really interesting. And then like more scientific perspective, I guess, on energy and energy design has been really interesting. And then coming to it from a more spiritual place. Like I was looking at Ophelia and Tali Edut, the Astro twins. They have in their I Am system. I have their book. It's so fascinating. They have like kind of an idea of how different qualities that we're dominant in our placements dictate the way that we set up a space, which is so interesting. And they talk about that on the Breakdown podcast with Maya Bialik as well, which was really cool, and my introduction to them. So looking at that has been really interesting. Looking at like certain placements within my own zodiac birth chart, like I'm a Taurus moon, which means like I should be like really into quality and maybe more like luxurious, which I definitely am a quality girl. I will take real hardwood and heavy shit any day over plastic. Feeling I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about the feeling of luxury vinyl plank, which is what I have in most of the apartment. It just doesn't feel quite right under my feet when my feet are bare, because it's plastic. It's a man-made material. But then when I'm in the bathroom or in my office where it's tile, like real stone tile and ceramic tile, like that's so much more grounding. It's really interesting. So like looking at some of that and how like those different placements within my chart affect the way that I kind of see my space and the way that I feel in a space. And then looking at how like as my human design profile, my environment is markets, which means that I want a lot of choice so that I can choose the best, which is interesting to see the overlap between that and being a Taurus moon. But also like that's something that's really stimulating for me. So I'm trying to purposefully use like the market mentality and choice in places where I want to be stimulated, and avoid it in places where I don't want to be stimulated, like my bedroom. And then also looking at the fact that I'm neurodivergent. I have autism and ADHD, and so it's kind of that push and pull of like I need things to be organized, but also I get sick of it being organized, or like I just have a moment where like I stop being organized, and then piles. And I know everything that's in the pile, but it's just piles. And then I'll go on like a rampage of cleaning everything for a little while. So the push and pull of that, and like the ADHD of needing to see everything so that I remember that it exists, but the autism of like I don't want to see all these things because it's distracting and it's ugly, I guess. And just seeing the way that those come out and like fight each other in the way that space affects me. So it's this huge mishmash of like traditional interior design, psychology, feng shui, quantum physics, astrology, human design, and then my own neurodivergence. And I'm still figuring out the best way to like put all of these things together in a way that makes sense for me. And I mean, I don't think that there's an answer. And that's probably the reason why a lot of people never feel like their home is quite right or quite done, but also like the need for change is stimulating as well to a lot of people. And so like fussing around, like I think that's a big reason why a lot of people go like crazy for holiday decor, because it gives you like a period of, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks where you can just like have slightly different decor for a little while, and then you can come in and change it again. So I guess I'm exploring. I'm exploring, I'm learning, I'm so fascinated by all of it. I don't even know what to call this grouping of everything, because I don't, it's like holistic, environmental, I don't know. I'm not even sure that it has a name, and I don't see that, like, I'm having a hard time finding resources that talk about encompassing all of these things. Like, people tend to be an expert in just one area, which has been great because I've been able to learn from a lot of experts in their fields and compile like little bits of knowledge. But like, I am somewhere on the downhill slope of the Dunning-Kruger chart of so like I'm not the person to be like, this is how it works. I'm just trying to fucking figure it out for myself because it's crazy. How our homes affect us, how space makes us feel is crazy. It's also really interesting, like living alone and getting to experience, like, the only energy in this space is my energy and my cat, of course, and then like whatever spirits may be present. Oh, there she goes. But so all of the energy here is mine, and it's mine to play with and influence, and that's such a freeing experience for me, and it's really healing for like a lot of parts of me, mentally and physically. I lost like 15 pounds when I moved into my own place, and my body just went, safe. This is home. This is safe. It was crazy. Like within 6 weeks. So yeah, I'm very lucky to have this much space to myself and to be able to play around with it and just kind of figure it out. And yeah, I guess this is just a diary of me figuring it out. Thanks.